we appreciate it if you would tell us how you use your resource network to improve your business and grow your business. I'm Karen Libby. My business is Image Media. I provide photography and marketing services, and I'll talk about my resource network at the end.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Mark Breimer. I own Office Supply Solutions, and how I use my resource network is this. I try to be that one person for all my connections. If they need something of a certain service, I'm going to make sure that I share that with them, because selling office supplies, you can get anywhere. I need to do a value add to become more relevant to the people in my network. So I always try to be that resource, that go-to person for them, so they can keep focused on what they do. And then hopefully along the way, they'll consider using me for what I do for a living, which is printer cartridges and office supplies.
My name's Karen Hoffman. We have a nonprofit called Gateway to Dreams in Chesterfield Mall. I'm also the author of a book, Contacts, Connections, and Collaboration. And how I use my network is when I ask people, what do you need? How can I help you? What ideas, information, or introductions? And introductions are critical to, I believe, business successes. And when they come vetted from someone you know, like, and trust, it shortens a relationship building cycle.
My name is Bill Purnett, and I'm the co-owner of Simply Successful. My wife, Ann, is right over there in the green sweater. So Ann and I have had a company for about 9 years. I started the company, and then Ann joined me 3 years ago. I like to think of us as bookends. I work on the systems end of things, and Ann works on the people end of things. And so between the two of us, we can pretty much cover whatever ground we need to. My networking is with about 100 people. And how do I do that? I do that through 4 groups that I belong to. So e4e is obviously a foundation for that. Jim Canada's business development team is a group that I go to every month, so I invest my time there. Karen Hoffman, I'm part of Karen Hoffman's group, and then I'm also part of a mastermind with Glenda Woolley. So what I like, and how I learned this, was through 2 years of agonizing pain, where I went out and talked to a lot of people networking, and it dawned on me all the people networking were the same people that wanted to get business, and so we were all networkers together, but nothing was really happening as a result of it. So one day I went to a educational seminar, and it really got me excited about the importance of education and meeting people from a networking standpoint at educational events rather than in networking events. So I no longer attend networking events. Matter of fact, Ann will tell you I used to complain all the time about networking events. I don't go to them anymore. I spend my time at events like this, where I feel like you can develop longer, deeper relationships. And I believe it's the key to my success.
My name is Brian Lund. I'm the managing partner over at Medici Media Space, which is a collaborative co-working community up near 170 and Page. The way that I network is very purposeful. I think a lot of times I try to identify where people's pain points are, and quite specifically, what are they trying to do to make money. And so what I often do is I put people together in order to make a sale, in order to make sure that they complement one another. You know, I think networking a lot of times can be serendipitous, and I know a lot of people talk about serendipitous collisions that happen at networking events, but we're more about purposeful collisions, especially with our business model that we have, and do a lot of putting people together on purpose so that the outcomes will be, you know, things that they can make money off of, or can turn into a really good relationship that'll last a long time.
Another area I'd like to address is how we got where we are today. Networking has changed a lot over the last several years, and I'd like to get some feedback from all of you about how, you know, your role in that has changed for, let's say, since the recession. That's the area that I'm going to address. In the year 2008, I started my business, but I had not been networked at all. I had moved back from California to St. Louis, and I was a bit lost about what to do to build my business. So in 2009, I joined a group called Go Network. It was started by the St. Patrick's Center at a time when the world was falling apart and people from major corporations in town were let go from their jobs, and they came together as a result of a brilliant idea by Dan Buck of the St. Patrick's Center to create this community to help bring us together and to help us figure out what to do next. So my purpose was to build my business, but many of the people there were there to figure out where to go with their careers. And their focus was primarily on helping them do that, to get connected to the community again another way, and to develop a career that might be different than the one they had before. So what they did is they put us to work. And those of us who volunteered spent several months, some of the people years, working at St. Patrick's Center while they were building their businesses and developing their careers and getting reconnected with the community. That was the difference that I found there that worked for me. So I went behind the scenes and I worked as head of the marketing committee. I ultimately got a job as a marketing manager, which was my dream. The job only lasted a couple of years, and during the time that I was doing it, I kept my hands in my own business. The reason it ended is because the company was sold to another company in good economic times. So the moral of that story is no matter where you are in life, it can change. And by having a business community that supports what you're doing, where you can roll up your sleeves and get to work, you can enhance your life and be in charge of it for the rest of your life. So Go Network will have enhanced my life experience for the rest of my life. E4e is the same type of group. There's so much heart and so much willingness to work and help each other in this group. It's been an extraordinary experience to be part of it. And I've been blessed to be part of another opportunity with my son, Brian Lunt, at Medici Media Space, which is an opportunity to get to know people who want to help build community, who have a lot of heart, and are rolling up their sleeves and getting things done.
Well, I guess there's two ways that I network. Number one, obviously we all need sales and we need connections for business. So a lot of the networking I do is to meet connections, to find opportunities, because you never know the person in front of you, what their network is behind them. Because if you're just talking to the person for them, you're not going to go very far. But if you talk with them, get to know them, and maybe learn through them, they might have a connection which could be a game changer for your business. The other part of the networking I do is in this room. I learn how to be a business owner. Very rarely do you go out and meet people who are teaching you how to become better business owners, giving you different ideas, ways to improve yourself, so that way you can move your own business forward while you're getting those opportunities. Because it's great to have a lot of opportunities, but if you can't move your business forward in the process, you're going to be tripping over yourself. You're going to end up falling backwards. So it's networking for business and networking for knowledge.
I think one of the biggest ways I've built my network is being involved in events and hosting events and creating communities. Like we had a women's group called Encouraging, Supporting, Promoting Women. In fact, Bill Higley was our first male member of that. And by being someone who helped create communities, and I have loved helping E4E and then the Gateway to Dreams community, and you get to invite people to get together, and you are the host or the hostess helping to facilitate relationships. So that has worked well for me is being involved in hosting events.
So I'm a big fan of staying away from doing things in a random way. And to me, networking the way it was done prior to 2008, a lot of random stuff that went on. Oh, gee, I want you to meet so-and-so. I want you to meet so-and-so. I want you to do this. If people want to get to know me now, we're going to probably do that via the internet or by phone. I'm not going to go and spend an hour and a half or 2 hours meeting people that I don't know. So what I'll do is I'll connect with them electronically or by phone. I'll invite them to E4e as my guest, and we'll meet each other here. But it really has reduced probably 10 to 15 hours out of my schedule that I feel like I was not investing my time wisely before.
I would say that traditional networking is difficult because it's very surface. I think a lot of people go to networking events and you go through the same rigmarole. Hi, I'm Brian the banker, or something very basic, and you talk about your kids and what you basically do for your career. One of the things that I do now is I'm very purposeful about getting to know people and what they do, and I try and jump into a project with them. And you can see that by being in certain organizations, even E4E or chamber organizations, you can get down and dirty with people and start to work with them on events, on different projects, and you really get to know somebody at a deeper level, I think, because you understand the questions they ask, the advice that they give, and you get a lot better understanding about what they can offer rather than just taking their word for it. And so I really just like to do things with people to get to know them better.
Thank you for sharing, and we'd like to open this up to everyone who would like to either ask a question to the panel or comment about your particular experience.
Do you find that one of the important things about networking is a little self-reflection, looking at yourself and seeing what you need to get out of networking before you start going to different groups and finding what's out there?
I'll say that's key in any area of business. Networking or building your business in general is know thyself first. And sometimes the networking experience teaches us how to know ourselves better because we can reflect it in other people and how they're responding to us.
I guess my thought is accountability. If someone's going to invite me to a group, I want to know why they want me there, who's going to be in the room, because basically I can't know everybody that I meet networking and refer them saying, oh yeah, they do a good job because they say they do a good job. But I want an accountability one step away saying, okay, Thad, if you're going to invite me to a group, why should I be there? Why do you feel that's a fit for me or my company? And if you do that, then I'll at least give it a shot off of your word. Now we might see it differently and I might not see the value, or I might say, wow, this is the best thing since sliced bread. You never know.
Have any of you changed your approach from networking to close a deal to networking to help someone?
I guess my thought on that, Jim, is this. If I can help connect somebody, I'm going to build trust. I mean, what I do selling office supplies is not fancy. Most people know what it is. But if I can, again, provide value to people that help them be successful, hopefully I'll be top of mind when they meet with that person again or they have a deal with that person, kind of like Brian said, work on a project. So it's a way of keeping yourself top of mind without being in their face or closing them per se. They'll close themselves, is my thought.
So in the know thyself, I've learned that I'm not really good at networking. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's a little too nebulous for me. I am a doer. I just like to jump in and get projects and opportunities moving along. So any opportunity I have to do that, I'll jump in if I feel like it's going to be beneficial to me and to the group I'm in. So I don't know that traditional networking is for everyone. You know, that's what's happening in the community now. There are different ways to do it, and everyone needs to find where they fit.
I'd like to answer that. So I believe in sales is my forte. People buy from who they know, like, and trust. So to me, when I meet with people, I'm there to get to know each other and to know, like, and trust each other. And sometimes the chemistry's good and sometimes it's not. When the chemistry's not good, then I just move on. Sorry.
No worries. I think that's a great perspective on connecting with people, and part of getting into the weeds with somebody and doing things with them, I think, is identifying what they need. And we talk about a value exchange a lot of times. It doesn't have to be what you're selling to somebody that's going to be your ultimate value exchange, but if you can provide some sort of value for somebody, then you've given them something. And I think whether it comes directly in return from that person specifically or just from the universe or from somewhere else, I think it's a good practice, it's good karma, it's something that you can get, you know, the wind behind you, exchanging value in the positive all the time. Those things, it's a deposit in a bank that comes back to you in tenfold, I think.
Back to Jim's question and also Brian's comment there. Networking to close the deal versus networking to help other people. It sounds very idealistic in perhaps a cynical age to say this, but networking to help other people absolutely works. It makes you visible. It makes you far more visible than if you're focused on a deal or focused on getting the deal, which is the first step. It makes you absolutely visible, and it facilitates what I always call as the bank shot. And the bank shot is somebody else referring you to a third person. And it is strategic, it is practical, it absolutely works. The more you do it, the more visible you become.
That's a great comment. Thank you very much for everyone's input. I would like to say the banking connections are perfect for where we are today. And we appreciate your participation.